Hey moguls, it's Dr. T here, and just coming to you with another amazing upgrade where we have the opportunity to just soak in, integrate, take in millions of dollars in value, stuff that can translate into millions of dollars in your bank account, and the feeling of having that. So, the focus we're doing today that I'm really excited about is we're connecting to the concept of change and doing it in the most difficult times that can happen to someone. So it's one thing to be connected to needing change, to be knowing you want to change something, to be like, I want to change it. I have this desire. And it's another thing to have things going on in your life that feel like they're like forcing you to change, or they're like, there are these things and they're so awful, or something like, whatever it could be. Some event happens, some catastrophe happens, uh, some development happens, some new aspect of life occurs. And I'm just talking about the range of anything it possibly could be. And that feeling like you just have to deal with it. Like there are just some things where you're like, there is no option. It's in my face. It's just an absolute, like, there is no putting it off. It's like calling upon you to do something that you need to do. And it can feel like this, just like you just react because you have to. And that's a different kind of change. And what I have a sense of from all my years of doing transformations with people is that there are so many points along the way in our trajectory where we are being guided, signaled to upgrade, to receive an invitation, to make a shift, to get more authentic with ourselves and live our more authentic purpose, to address something that can upgrade ourselves, to make a shift in a relationship, to either go into one, to move on from one, to learn a new skill, whatever it might be. And we get these signals. These are effectively invitations that are happening, but so much of humanity is so afraid of change in a lot of ways and feeling like it's going to be hard. So there's all these avoidance tactics that happen. Rarely does somebody think, I need to change this, and like immediately start to do it. It can just take forever. So, what can happen is that when we keep pushing off changes that we need to make, that we are being called to make, things that just don't feel good, things that don't feel right, things that don't feel like this is my ideal life here, we can end up in having things happen that can be effectively what I refer to over the years as a forced upgrade. And these are not fun by any stretch. And it's not to say here that, like, if bad things are happening to you, that somehow, like you need to be horrible to yourself and hate yourself or anything like that. It's just understanding that whether it's you, people around you, this is often the case, like in families as well. I really can relate to where things need to be addressed and things need to be addressed. And in family systems that I've been in, they don't get addressed. And then some sort of a crisis happens. And that crisis happened from oodles and oodles of people avoiding upgrades that needed to occur. Because when you upgrade yourself, when you upgrade your frequency, when you upgrade your intentionality and follow your purpose and the signals that are guiding you to it, you operate in such a high frequency that crisis and stuff like that just is not a part of that frequency. It doesn't exist in there. It exists much lower in the frequency. But for example, if you're in a much lower frequency and you may just, that's just the way it's been, say this is your family of origin, for example, and you're just so used to it, maybe low, but you don't think about it because you're so used to it. But things need to change. They don't change. 20 years go by, more, whatever it is. And then crises happen. Things happen, and then you're forced to deal with them. And then all of a sudden, it's like, but then the problem with these forced upgrades is then people feel like victims. Oh, this terrible thing is happening. Woe's me. Yada, yada, yada. When in reality, If we're not down in a low frequency and we are constantly upgrading ourselves and we follow a track to continue to be our best self every day and grow a new self every day, grow a better self every day, you are in such a high frequency that only high frequency things occur in that scenario. And having really seen this in different people's lives, where like if someone goes down in a frequency because say somebody died, something happened, they're way down in a brief frequency, feeling horrible. Say it's a year, the person's just feeling awful. They lost their dad or something. Their dad passed. And they're down in a low frequency. Well, a bunch of other stuff. They always say this happens in threes, but it's more than that. The longer someone stays in a lower frequency without addressing what needs to upgrade to put people in a higher frequency, the more different things will happen. Now this person's getting an offender bender. Now this person's having another set of illnesses happen. Now this, or having a set of illnesses happen. Now this person is having problems with their teenager or whatever. Thing is, everyone, if we stay in a low frequency rather than make changes to upgrade ourselves regularly, and especially when we get the signal to initially rather than waiting and avoiding and procrastinating, if we actually go toward the upgrade when it's given to us and the signal says, time to move on, time to do this, time to go here, go there, time to learn this, we then get to be in upgrades in flow. And we get to do it from a place that's like nice, organic, great, let's make this upgrade. But if we ignore it, I should do this, but I'm going to keep doing this. I should, years go by, however long, even ignoring it for a day, gives the potential for that lower frequency that's occurring to create more bad things from it. Because typically when we're getting the message to upgrade something, make changes in something, upgrade some aspect of you, your life, etc., it's because we are in too low of a frequency. And there are these parts of ourselves that are saying, let's upgrade this frequency. Let's get into a higher reality. And that's an important signal that's there. It's saying, change this, do this. This is too low. That's too low. This relationship is too low. That position's too low. Frequency is too low. And these amazing innate parts of our energy system and the way our human design works is getting us to know it's time for an upgrade. We actually get a signal. And if you are a manifester, the signal you get is you feel angry. If you're a generator, the signal you get is you typically feel frustrated. Manifesting generator, you feel angry and frustrated. Projector, you feel bitter. And a reflector, you feel judgment. And it's time to make the upgrades. And it's just telling us, make change now. Upgrade frequency now. Be something, think something, feel something, do something that is at a higher level frequency. Move in the direction of intentionality to raise it. And so what happens is if we ignore it, our signal is there saying, this is too low frequency, make changes, make upgrades. And we just freaking ignore it. We're not only going to have the problem that that thing is trying to solve for us, that upgrade signal is trying to solve for us, a bunch of more stuff is going to happen. And eventually, because the frequency was already too low trying to upgrade you into what feels like your higher self, you will eventually have a bunch of bad stuff happen. You're going to then think life is shitty. You're going to feel like a victim. You're going to reinforce that. More of it will happen because of that. And all it was that you got a signal that your frequency was too low. It's time to make an upgrade. And you ignored it and ignored it, ignored it, ignored it. So it's not an option in all reality, unless you like doing forced upgrades that are making you do it because you ignored it for 5 years or whatever it is. For some people, 50 years. And then you get the forced upgrade rather than upgrade, organic upgrade, change, shift, grow, evolve, high frequency self. So this is tricky, everyone. And I can tell you, having transformed a lot of people's lives and gone through following signals that I get, navigation that I get to upgrade and doing it, how much better it feels for myself, my clients, than a forced upgrade feels. And you've all been through things that just feel like they're just thrusting upon you, that you have to take action and do the. And so I want to invite you to know that most of the time those are forced upgrades because there was already a place you were supposed to be in your trajectory. It's already trying to get you there. You were not supposed to be continuing to hang out in the same experience. You were supposed to evolve every single day into a better version of yourself. Higher, better, higher frequency, better, higher reality. And if that's not happening, as you get those signals and you wait and wait and wait, there will always be a forced upgrade. And it's not that life is so horrible. It's just that you ignored the upgrade when it was given to you the first 5,000 times. So we want to break that cycle because the more forced upgrades you have, the more you will feel like life is happening to you rather than you're orchestrating, you're like collaborating together. Oh, you've given me an upgrade. You think I should change this? Thank you, universe. I got the signal. I got my navigation. Upgrade, upgrade, upgrade. Make a shift. This is how it's supposed to go because evolutionarily speaking, every day we are getting signals from the universe, from the planets, from the way in which all of reality is orchestrated, these different dimensions of reality, getting a signal, and we are basically meant to create our next best self each day. And if that is ignored, then you end up in the like, well, life is just happening to me, and then it's the tail wagging the dog, as they say. Feels like shit. It's very hard to get out of. But with the proper training and programming, you can make an upgrade so that you operate in intention and your whole world is your intentions manifested, materialized, generated into reality. The opposite is true, that you can end up where you are just getting, life is just running you, running you, running you. And to make that shift, it really makes a commitment that I'm inviting you to, which is that when you get the signal to change something, to recognize this is an upgrade signal. The universe is giving you all the dimensions of reality, connecting with you in your human design, all the amazing things in the world, all the people and their intentions and thoughts and feelings and everything we're all in the soup put together here with. There are energies and directions and signals and navigation and communication trying to get to you to give you an upgrade. So it makes sense to make changes immediately, to make them daily, to make them regularly, and to really make upgrades as a way of being. And there is a way that you can feel how good that feels to get a signal and immediately make a shift, upgrade your frequency, upgrade your reality, upgrade the activity, make a shift in it. And that's a whole different world to be living in, which I'm excited for y'all to experience. For y'all. So we want to make this shift. We want to make change a feeling of momentum that just keeps like more upgrades, and you keep receiving them, because your ability to receive upgrades and immediately respond to them and fulfill them means that more of that can come to you. It's the opposite of the other thing where just more crap's coming to you. More of it can come to you, and you must be really good at receiving upgrades, immediately doing them, making those shifts, whether it's an internal upgrade, an activity upgrade, materializing some sort of an upgrade. And then you get on that wavelength, which then everything just flows to you that you want, need, and now you have a momentum because you're so good at receiving upgrades. More will come. It's a completely different reality. And one that, having experienced both sides of this and seeing so many clients with this, it's night and day. And I'm really inviting you to make this shift, that when you get a signal to change, when you get a signal to upgrade, that you say, yes, I'm in. And you move in that direction. You go forward in the direction of higher intentions for you, so that through your life trajectory, you keep getting the next iteration, rather than everybody being behind. And then they have to do all these upgrades to catch up for years and years and years that they didn't take them. And then you don't want to do it because it actually does hurt to have to do upgrades that are 50 years in the making that you needed to do 50 years ago or 10 years ago or 5 months ago, and it was time to do it at that moment you got the upgrade. Because every single day evolution is happening, and change, which is just really growth and evolutionarily upgrading us, is all the universe is doing. And yet we got to be in the frequency that we can even receive that signal. And when you're not used to receiving it and then following it and responding to it, guess what? The universe doesn't send it to you anymore. And now you have to go chase everything, which feels awful. You have to go chase it down. Rather than upgrades come to you, you respond. Upgrades come to you, you respond. This sets an entire receiving reality, which I'm so excited for you all to get in on. Okay, everyone. So your invitation is that when you get the signal to make an upgrade, to change, to shift, to grow, that you flow into the immediacy of that and you follow that signal to your higher level. All right, everyone. Thank you for tuning in, receiving this upgrade. Take it all the way into your being, into your energy system, so it can apply itself in your reality, which is the way we know we've learned something and mastered it. And let's go into mastery about making immediate changes and immediate upgrades as they come into us on the daily. All right. And open up to receiving how much fabulosity, abundance, high frequency reality, and high material reality that wants to come your way. So you're going to be open, you're going to receive, you're going to embrace it, and you're going to be the absolute next best version of yourself every single day. All right, moguls, way to tune in, way to make the upgrade. Thanks, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.